Right, we are live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We are here for the final game of the Six Nations round two, and we've already seen a couple relatively one-sided affairs in terms of the scoreboard. Both Ireland and Scotland find themselves sitting on the 10 points after the first two rounds of the Six Nations. As you can see here, sitting very nicely, Italy and England both yet to get themselves a victory. Italy played very well up against France in week number one and were very unlucky to miss out on getting that possible win. But they did mention just before this game, Italy, the only side in the Six Nations that they have not beaten at all is England. And this is going to be a big tester for the new coach, Borthwick, as he has made a big change in that back line with Owen Farrell slotting in as his number 10 with Smith coming off the bench. But speaking of that English side, we will be looking through it at Ellis Gens, Jamie George, and Kyle Sinclair as the front row. Mara Toje and Ollie Chisholm will be the locks for this game. And then Ludlam at number 6, Willis at 7, and then Alex Dombrandt gets a go at number 8. So we're already seeing some pretty obvious changes compared to when we did see Eddie Jones as the coach. Jack Van Plorfleet will be there at number 9. Owen Farrell, like I mentioned, moves to fly half after being at 12 for the last match up against Scotland. Lawrence and Slade as the midfield. Hazel Collins, Max Malins, and Freddie Stewart as the back three. Looking through at Italy's starting lineup will be Fischeri, Nicotera, and Riccioni as the front row. Canoni and Ruza as the 4-5, and then Negri, Lamaro, and Canone slots in at number 8. Now, overall last week, I would say the loose forward trio for Italy, they didn't really do too badly overall, and I hope that that is the case in this game up against England. Also, Varney is 9 once again. Tommaso Allen slots in at fly half. Maurici and Ignacio Brex in the midfield. Then it is Manoncello out on one wing. Patovani moves into the starting lineup at 14, and then Capuzio starts at number 15. Looking at the previous fixtures for these two sides, like I mentioned, France, they were able to get themselves their win over Italy, 29 points to 24. In the game between England and Scotland was a 6-point defeat for England, and that was while they were at Twickenham, which is why this game's so important, because when you start losing your home legs of the Six Nations, then it makes it a lot more challenging to get high up in the rankings when you've only got away games coming up. And also, come on, Italy, says Gareth, and let's go, says Nate. Tiana said, boy, do I hope for Italy to win. And also Salvatore and Nicola both talking about Italy, whether or not they're going to flight or whether they are going to go downhill in this game. And it will be an interesting one because Italy, from what we saw last week, you wonder, was it because they were at home? Or you wonder, is it because they are now at that level that everyone's hoping that they would be at for many years now? The South African T20 final just finished. The Sunrisers Eastern Cape just won it. Says Jan Rynel. And also, hi Amish, hope you are well. Will the English coach resign if they lose this one? Probably not. It's only his second match. It's like how a lot of people already are saying that they want the Welsh coach to resign after losing twice. And, you know, it's a tricky world to be a coach in, because as soon as you get yourself a loss, everyone goes, right, he's not the man for the job. But some of the best coaches have started their coaching career for a side with losses and then turned it around. People just don't have that patience to be willing to stick it out. And this year it's going to be who going to be the playoff, this World Cup Championship Challenge, says Ahapoka there. Of course, Italy, Ireland, New Zealand, South Africa all find themselves on the same side of the draw, which does make it even more challenging for those sides as they make it through. Right, James Dolman, New Zealand referee, also his assistants are all French. They will all be excited for this matchup. Owen Farrell starting with the thumbs down. Marcus Smith on the bench. You're going to live stream the Super Bowl, says Yanri. Now we are not at this stage. I still can't tell you who the other team are in it. I know the Eagles are in it. I don't know who the other team are at this point. I'm sure they're decent, though, if they've made it for the Super Bowl side of things. You can see Kyle Sinclair there. He's got mountains of tape on that right arm. And also England starting 3 Ollies in this matchup. Ollie Chisholm, Ollie Lawrence, and Ollie Hazel Collins. But it will be the Italians to kick us off for this matchup of the Six Nations. Tommaso Allen about to get us underway at Twickenham. A must win for both of these sides. They want any chance of somehow winning the Six Nations. If not winning, getting that little bit further up the table. Now it's kicked off by Tommaso Allen in front of 83,000 in England. Nicely taken by Ollie Lawrence. In fact, sorry, that was actually Ollie Chisholm. We're going to have a bit of that with all the Ollies. And there, looks like Jack Van Porfleer goes short side off to Maro Itoje. Makes a few extra meters, but it's tackled by Negri. And now the box kick about to come up from the English. Marcus Smith needs another hairstyle, in my opinion, Hamish, to play 10 for England, says John. Although I'm not too sure that they actually base their selections off who's got the best trim. Because if they did, then that coach would definitely get sacked. If in the post, or in fact that looks like a penalty. Yes, it is. Varney has got the penalty advantage for the Italians. Nicely kicked in behind. It will sit up for Freddie Stewart, and we're going back for the initial penalty in favour of England. But yeah, in the pre-press conference, when they're like, why'd you select him? Well, I think his haircut's a lot nicer than any other player that we've got. So we've got to put him in there. And until the other player gets a haircut, we will not consider him for selection. That's a coach that gets the sack first game. Maybe even second if he's lucky. And also we need a new couch, says Nate. And yeah, the Eagles versus the Chiefs, just like the ones in New Zealand, says Yanri. Or the ones in England. The good old Exeter Chiefs. That's going to be into touch just in a brilliant kick downfield from Italy, managing to make 30 plus meters from that kick. And now inside of the 22 of the Italians, they are going to have themselves a line out. Right, Nicotera needs a straight throw here. Start off on a high, and that is exactly what he's been able to do. Lamaro looks to the short side. A little bit of a set play there from Italy, going right near the touchline. Varney trying to protect that ball at the back. They might say he's holding on, but they might also say that he's just done enough to keep the ball on the side of the Italians. Now moving up to 15 out. Maro Itoje tries the counter ruck again. That one almost sealed off the ball from the Italians. That seems to be England's tactic. It's get in there early and try and force Italy to make those little mistakes in the breakdown, and it's worked. Penalty goes the way of England. Hello, my brother, says Henry. Welcome in, mate. Hope you are doing very well. Hope you are excited for, once again, another great match of the Six Nations. They were talking about it before this matchup. They said that first half between Ireland and France was debatably the best half of Six Nations rugby that we've seen in a decade, was the comment from the Irish commentator. So I don't know if there's any bias there at all, but it was a very entertaining half. Watch Maro Itoje takes it nicely now. Farrell in his first receiver role will be looking forward to getting his hands on the ball just a little bit more than he does when he's on the outside. But a nice ball up to Hazel Collins, who gets a big cheer from the crowd, although he has been taken down very early by Juan Inacio Brex. Now, knock on there. Not quite getting it right into the hands of Ollie Chisholm. Might have been a knock on from Italy on the ground. It was. And they'll go back for the scrum. No Super Bowl here, please. We don't want to watch grown men running around in their pajamas trying to kill each other. Thank you very much, says Neil. And are you offering a leather couch, says John there. And did they lose the final? Lose the final. Who are we talking? The Chiefs? No. We have one. Oh, no, the T20. Sorry. I got confused. We have one surprise this weekend with the Pretoria Capitals losing a South Africa T20. So why not an Italy upset? And correction, best rugby in a decade for the Six Nations. That is true. Sorry, yeah. They did say the Six Nations, didn't they? And the fella was still Irish. But once again, we'll take his word for it. From Salvation Army, says Nate, for the couch. They got good couches at the Salvation Army. I know that when we were in Oamaru, there were like 50 second-hand stores. There were a lot of them. And I don't know where they all come from, because when you look around like our town, we got maybe 2 and they're owned by the same person just across the road from each other. And then Timaru, you'd struggle to find one. Whereas you head south, I think because they've got that steampunk region, I've just realized not really anyone cares, do they? This is just like regional information. This is England versus Italy. But the scrum has taken a little while they are just getting it set. Varney, about to put the ball in. I feel like I just saved everyone writing their comments telling me that that is useless information. That's going to be the penalty to England there in the front row. Now, discipline from France last week wasn't ideal, which did allow Italy to find their feet just a little bit earlier on in the contest, but the handling from Italy was actually where their struggle was. It's a big push in that front row, and now England kicking this one into touch. And Super Bowl stream could be fun, but 4 hours, ouch, says Gareth. And yeah, it does start, I believe, in the afternoon for us here in New Zealand. So I think that might be when I am asleep, unfortunately. My sleep schedule this weekend's been very weird. I've been sneaking in 2-hour little windows. That's about all that I'm getting, though. So I got 2 hours before this match, got 2 hours before the first Six Nations match yesterday. Now little grubber in my, I'm from England. Oh, the ball, is it forced by Varney? It is. So I believe that will be the goal line dropout. In fact, it's Varney who was able to get his hands on the ball, but he was certainly under pressure. They may even consider saying that this one has been taken back. And I was like, easy, my guy, I'll draw a couch for you. Right. Was it inside the field of play, taken back? I think it might have been, Or was it Maitland's hands? Okay, you'd say England knocked that on. Max Maitland, he knocked it out of the Italians' hands. So you go 5-minute scrum for Italy if I was in charge. Yeah, it is. Okay, we're good. And also, Rihanna, the best halftime act, not according to the Don, says John. And also, how good is Ireland on neutral stadiums or stardoms, facing South Africa trying to do a double and New Zealand wanting revenge, says Yanri. And also, we have got the Trojan work, Kiwi lad, says Kieran O'Connor. And Rihanna can't sing, says Cameron. Well, she's got a very good way of tricking people to thinking she can then, because she has sold a lot of records around the world and is making absolutely millions. So, yeah, she probably winning is the best way of saying that. Now, it's gone down to the front rows again. This scrum's going to be about as shaky as, I could say many things, couldn't I? But we'll just say as shaky as can be for the first early stages. And who won the last World Cup in France? Just saying, says Jan Rindell. And also we have got there, thank you. Well, there you are, sir, says Fleshin. And Rihanna has a 5 head, says Gareth. I think I'm going along that same line. My head, if I extend it, gets relatively long, which is something you guys probably can't unsee now. And how do you think the game will go? I think we're going to see England definitely improving on what they did last week up against Scotland. Italy, they'll find it hard for the first 20 minutes or so, but if they can find their mojo and stop England from making the most of too many early opportunities, I think they've got a chance of taking this one deep. But if not, I think England probably get themselves about a 2 or 3 try win. Now, Tommaso Allen decided to run it. Nice inside ball. So actually willing to take a bit of a risk there, Italy, to force themselves a bit further forward. Now, Varney looking for the box kick. Still inside of the 22, so this one can go out on the full. And that'll be, a little bit of afters there from Ollie Chisholm just to tell the Italian halfback, hey, look who grew quicker. 7.5 minutes in, currently still 0-0. 5 head or not, get very cozy if I had the chance, says Gavin Morena. Nate Churches, says Nazi Williams. Welcome in, Nazi. Taken it back by Ollie Chisholm. Short ball, terrible pass. And now Alex Dombrandt has put that one down, although it was at his feet before he even got the chance to try and catch it. So Italy have got the ball back. It's like Varney once again and go back into the pocket here, kick downfield by Tommaso Allen. And that one goes out almost on the full. It does, but they will go back for the original advantage because they didn't really get the chance to play it. So it worked quite well for the Italians in the end. Jack Willis suffered knee injury versus Italy here in 2021. He will be having flashbacks if that knee starts to cramp at any stage throughout this matchup. Is it good for the Italians to keep it tight on the forwards, Hamish? I would think so. I feel like Italy are one of those sides that when their forwards are playing with confidence, their backs follow. But we've already seen about 3 times where England have almost counter-rucked them. So they need to keep those forwards close to the breakdown so that they are able to get those turnovers or keep that ball on their side. They've already given away another free kick, unfortunately, at scrum time. Marcus Smith was a show pony. Much better selection today, says Kieran. Yeah, we haven't really seen Farrell touch the ball as of yet. But you assume that once he does, we'll start to see some sort of impact from him. Kieran Crowley, the Italy head coach, he won't be happy with the start. 9 minutes in. We haven't seen too many ideal scenarios So far for Italy, we've seen a few handling errors and a lot of penalties and free kicks against them. John has said, as an Englishman, I'm genuinely nervous about today's game. Could be tight. Yeah, which is something that in past years of the Six Nations, we haven't had the opportunity to say. So it's good in the full scheme of the Six Nations. Not so good if you are an English fan just now, because you wonder, is it going to be the first time that Italy ever can get the win over the English, or will England manage to fire back? Steve Borthwick just looks like he's sitting in the crowd, but they've got a little bit of a panel box for him there, but he looks like he's right next to all of the English fans, so you'd hope that they win, or else they'll be throwing stuff at him by the end of it. And yes, Kieran, with the same type of hairstyle as a show pony, says John. Back to the hairstyles, and also we have got the England from Sebastian, and going England has the easiest 2 Six Nations game ever, says Yarni now. Like their first 2, I assume you're talking. Scotland and no easy beat. That's going to stay in the field of play, forced down by Italy, and now it's going to be another goal line dropout. It looks like the tactic for England at the moment is try those little grubbers in behind, see if they do end up bouncing favourably. The in-goal areas are pretty large, so that does help in the favour of the English. As long as they don't get too cocky, the English will do it, says Kieran. And Italy says Gareth. Kicked off long again from Italy. Taken by Alex Dombrandt, the Quins representative. Doing nicely with that carry back. Jack Van Porfliet now gives it off to the number 7, Lewis. They've given away the advantage there in the breakdown. Maro Itoje plays it from sitting. Can't do that. So they will be going back for the penalty. Now, this might be where England consider taking on 3 points, to be honest. And I think they're having a really big think about it. Alice Genge conversating with Owen Farrell. I think Genge said go for the corner, and that is what England are going to do. Now, this is a big call from England, and something that, could backfire or it could work in their favour, because 3 points was definitely doable there. But they've decided to go for the corner and check if they can go. We cover all 5 days of Black Cats and England Test. Probably not all 5 days, just because it is around a busy period. I believe there's a game there's a day of that test match on Saturday when I'm playing cricket myself. And I don't think that'll allow me to take my laptop and webcam out onto the field. Easy try by England. And I believe it's the big man, Jack Lewis, rolling mould defence. Didn't really exist for Italy there. And England now take themselves the early lead, 5 points to 0. So this time, the risk did lead to reward for the English. There was not a penalty, was clearly on the ball, says Yanri now, and also reading for Italy, so close against France, says Ed. And also underestimate, says Kieran. And Mark is not a show pony, he got skills. The next Richie Mo'unga, says Nate. And there's and also hello everyone. Also, hello, how's everyone doing? Says Ed, doing very well, mate. And Leona said never underestimate Italy, guys. Exactly right. That one, they just got that rolling maul defence slightly wrong. They all went in to the right, and England actually wheeled beautifully to the left and just pretty much went straight past them. They kind of did a high five on the way past, and then that was about it. And Jack Willis, I should say, first try of the Six Nations this year, and also up against the side he got injured up against. No way, he nothing like King Richie. Can't tackle, Richie can and does, says John. But have you looked at their ages, John? Because did you see how he said the next Richie Mo'unga, not the same Richie Mo'unga? Meaning that Marcus Smith, still being young, has time to improve. There you go. And rooting for Italy, so close against France. And also try England. And also we have got there, how is Italy and rugby? Are they strong? They are better than they used to be, but still probably considered as the one of the 2 weakest Six Nations sides. The reason I say that is because a lot of people would now say that maybe Wales are right down there as well. Marcus 11 carries, 17 yards last match. And yes, way, so young needs a gun, says Nate. And also celebrated like he scored in the World Cup final, says Yanri now. Yeah, but he's been away for so long. Like, he got injured in 2021 up against Italy. And it's been a long road to recovery for Jack Willis. Who's Jack Lewis? Different player. But, yeah, so you can understand why he was very hyped about that one. Definitely in front of 83,000 in attendance as well, all cheering you on for your big return up against the Italians. Wales were terrible yesterday. They struggled big time, which is why I think a lot of people would say that the game between Italy and Wales could be maybe that seesaw that a lot of people want to see. You know, who's going to end up with that last place in the Six Nations at the moment? It does seem like these two sides, Italy and Wales, are the most likely. But you never know. If Italy somehow win this game, come back from behind being 7-0 down, get themselves the win, perhaps that same question could be asked if it's between maybe Wales and England. Would be massive. And they generally sit outside the top 10, says Gareth there. Now, Varney goes short side, rolls through the legs, but picked up now by Capuzzo. He was able to score last week in the contest up against France. A very nice try as well. Rush defence from Alice Genge. They're saying he just got the timing right. And now England trying to get the turnover, not quite able to. Maro Itoje back to his feet. Thought he had it, but doesn't. So England, you can clearly see their tactic is throw as many men into the breakdown as they can as soon as it goes down. Try and put the pressure on the Italians and force them to make an error. Currently on the halfway line, though. Italy still getting forced back just a little bit more, looking for one of those set plays that they were able to break through that French defence with last week. Varney again will go off to the left-hand side. Bit of a step and bit high from Alice Genge, just rode around the chest region. Now they kick it back into English territory. Taken by Freddie Stewart, who's got a new haircut. So if he was in John Mill's team, he'd get in the side because, of course, he's got that new trim. Now Capuzzo breaks the tackle. Big bit of contact there between a couple of the players. 14 metres out from the Italian line, trying to step around the side here. Federico Rusa has a bit of a crack. Varney now back. Italy haven't decided to try and shift it wide yet, and maybe they're worried about that interception chance for the English, who normally come up very flat when they are defending out on the back line. Big run here from Sebastian Negri. Making 10 metres, asking for the penalty. They've got to give it as well. Jack Van Paul get falling the wrong way and slowing it down in the process. Nice short ball. Italy starting to find their mojo now, although they did just almost drop that ball, and they will be going back for the penalty. Italy for the win, says Galen. How do you feel about Tommy Freeman? Says Luke, if I'm right, is he there? He's the English winger, isn't he? If I'm not wrong. Hopefully I'm correct in that. Or unless I've got him mixed up with someone else. If he's who I think he is, plays all right in the Gallagher Premiership, doesn't he? Tommy Freeman? I'm just trying to remember who he plays for, if it's the same guy. He's not Leicester Tigers, is he? I'm just thinking through their back line. They have Freeman? And yes, he is, says Luke. And also, do you want to open the batting for the Aussies? By the way, I want to see less of Warner as well, says Sebastian. And also, West Indies, the Poison Dwarf be dropped for the next test, or will, I believe that's going to be. Not sure, because if you're looking at both of them, Warner and also Kawaja, they both struggled a little bit in that one. Well, his problem is they don't want to fire Gatlin. He's taken the team 20 years back, says Cameron there. And it will definitely take a lot of time for them to adjust to the way that Gatlin plays. And also, if he's throwing any new tactics in, that will also take time. It's just whether or not it was too close to the World Cup for them to do so. And you see, as soon as you take Tom Curry out of the 7 spot, there's potential. And can the Pommies actually win this game, says Roof? They should be able to. Although I finally made it, Amish and Rugby Fanatics. Welcome in, Roof. And we stop talking about Wales, yes, says Fletcher. Yeah. They're the team, Northampton Saints. They're the team that everyone seems to be talking about at the moment, Fletcher, aren't they? Oh, here's a question, Fletcher. As a Welshman, okay, how many Welshmen have you already heard say sack the coach after 2 games? Because I've already seen a lot saying that they're going to get rid of Gatlin and going to get a new coach before the World Cup, which seems like an extremely risky tactic. We won't rub it in anymore, says Sebastian. Not this week anyway, Fletcher. It always is hard, isn't it? Because when a team's winning, like, all of the people who say that they're doing badly disappear. And we've seen it time and time again. It's like everyone celebrates when they're winning as a Welsh supporter or anyone, and then the rest of the world goes, oh yeah, they played well. And then when they play badly, the rest of the world jump in and go, haha. And also, no, leave us alone. Our misery, please, says Fletcher. And also, we have got there, will Italy score points in this game? I think so. They're 22 metres out at the moment. A good opportunity for them. Hey, howdy, hey, y'all. Says Scrum. Let's welcome in. You are well. Scotland, excellent. There's a 10 for you, Mr. Blue. Says John. Of course, you're referring to Finn Russell, the name you were looking for. Nice inside ball from Italy, but drop ball. I believe that's actually going to be going back for another penalty advantage in favour of Italy. Right, they could take the 3 points if they really wanted. It's about 22 metres out. And also, I live in England, so my son hates cats, so he wants them out, says Fleshin. Oh, Fleshin, we haven't found out in a while. Your son, he was playing rugby, wasn't he? I can't remember who he was playing for, but I remember a while ago you were telling us how he was playing a bit of rugby. Is he going any good? And also, is it still rugby season in England, or has it become cricket season yet? Because I know over here we're almost end of cricket season into rugby, which I guess means that over there you're probably end of cricket into rugby. No, end of rugby into cricket. Switcheroo somehow. Good day, ma'am Dixon. Says Gareth. Hello, let's hope you're well. And France and Scotland going to tell all, says Karen. It is. We're going to see whether or not the French will be able to get themselves maybe back into the Six Nations big, I guess, the big running section, and whether or not Scotland will be able to be undefeated into their game getting up against the Irish in round 4. Now 5 metres out from the line here, Italy. Couple good phases. Dombrandt trying to get on it. Doesn't quite. Now Varney goes to the side again. This is good work so far from the Italians when they have been on attack inside of the 22. Not willing to give it up too easily. I believe there was Riccione. Now another big tackle on Sebastian Negri. Now Varney going across to Juan Ignacio Brex. Phase after phase here. They can't rush it though, because as soon as they try and rush, that's when England will get themselves the ball. Now, the benefit is we've seen a side score of 18 phases. That was yesterday in the Ireland versus France game. Has that become a rolling maul? It has. And that means that the scrum will go the way of England now. Dombrandt just did enough to get it onto his side. And also we have got there, how does Freddie's haircut look? Looks all right. He's gone with the short sides. Kind of shorter on top. He used to have a bit longer, I think. Although I cannot remember half of their haircuts. And I find that they seem to change each and every week a little bit. Yeah, he's gone with the spiky. He's gone with Simon from the In-Betweeners, but not quite as much hair gel. And hi, says Amelia. Welcome in. Hope you are also doing very well. And also, the Oxford Harlequins year season is on its tail end. Are they going any good, Fleshin? Have they got playoff games and whatnot that they are looking forward to? And also, when is your next match scheduled? Have you practiced for it, says Coding? If we're talking about the cricket, we actually played one on Saturday, just past. We did end up doing the recording, although I'm slightly annoyed. England have got the penalty. That's not what I'm slightly annoyed about. I had the GoPro on my helmet, but the tape at the back slipped up. So it's a little bit further looking down than I would have liked. So everything happens in that top third of the screen rather than in the middle, which I'm slightly annoyed about. But we've got footage, which is the main thing, I guess. And our next game is next weekend. This is Ireland's tournament. Should be a walkover for England today, though, says Osiris. Am I silly for struggling to pronounce it? I think I am, aren't I? Any chance of Reece Zammit returning? I'm not too sure where he's at in terms of like updates. When was he injured? I'm trying to remember how many months he's been out. That was flat from England, and that was huge contact. Yeah, but a good attacking run from Ollie Lawrence. Now, England moving up to the halfway line. Looks like Jack Van Poorvliet sending a few more men out to his right. Looking for this ball at the back, and he does manage to get it through the big legs of Maratoje. It's a Greek name. An evening, Hamish. You're a lifesaver, mate. Thanks for the commentary, says Joss. No worries at all. Hope you are doing very well, Joss. And how many did you make, Hamish? Now, I have debated heavily whether to tell you or not, or whether to leave it to the video. I think I'll leave it to the video so that I don't give away any spoilers. But that video hopefully will be up in the next few days. I'm not sure what's going in it yet because we've got an angle that we filmed the whole match, like bowling and batting for the side. We've got another angle, which was an umpire cam for the second innings, and we've got a batting helmet cam that I had for the second innings. Wait, sorry, who's this number 10 talking about, mate? Says Nate. I think he was referring to Finn Russell, but may not have known the name. I start TIFF today. I haven't found the energy to go out or go to bed, says Amelia. Wait, so you haven't found the energy to go to bed rather than to get out of bed? That'll be tricky, Amelia. Oh, HIA here. I think it is, unfortunately. And Lamaro, it looks like he's got a hamstring injury and now he's got a head knock as well. In fact, they might just be replacing him for Zuliani. So that is a big change early on. And what for England and Italy in the World Cup this year? So Italy have also got New Zealand and France, the two notable teams. England have got Argentina and Samoa. They're two notable teams. Now, I'm not sure of the exact letters. I want to say England and whatnot might be in Pool D, and Italy might be in Pool A, but I could be very wrong with that. Have you opened it and face first ball? And have your team won, says Coding? Those are a lot of questions. But have you opened? I did have to open on the game on Saturday. Face the first ball, I didn't. My cousin did, who was at the or at the other end. And did we win? I'm going to keep it secret for the video, just so you guys have a little bit more to look forward to. Spot on, Amish, Sebastian. Oh, was it? I forgot what I was talking about for a second there. So they are in Pool D and Pool A, which seems weird that they don't play each other in the quarterfinals, just because most competitions go A versus D, B versus C, whereas this competition, what are we doing? It's like A versus C, B versus D or something. That might be the part that I've got wrong. Now, nicely taken. And starting to roll again for England. Last time, they were able to score off the rolling maul. They made it a little bit too easy. Italy this time look like they are a little bit more solid, although they find themselves getting wheeled away to the side again by the English. England, I believe, 3 of the Italians have to disengage, which now gives the English the full momentum. Number 4 has stayed in there, so he's going to get himself in trouble. Niccolò Cannoni. Backline, Hazel Collins has put the ball down, and we're going back for the penalty again. Van Russell says, Nate, we need to see George driving tractor, says Gareth. Hopefully we do get to see a video from George one day, but another penalty to England after the rolling maul does end up wheeling away to the side. I believe it was decent work in the end from Italy, other than Cannoni, who did end up, or I guess you could say he ignored the referee's wishes of him getting out of there and just stayed in for a little bit longer. But 5 meter line out now for the English, or 5.5 meters. Again, I'm very specific with those numbers now. Jamie George, the man who is going to be throwing it, I should say, in the last cricket vlog. But yeah, I enjoyed your umpiring, says Coding. I can say that I was an umpire in this one. George about to throw it. There's a lot of noise coming from the English crowd. Hoping to see another rolling maul, and they've taken that one beautifully. Now looking to get this one creeping forward. It's going sideways at the moment with Jamie George at the back. It's another advantage. Where's the ball? It's still in the hands of George, and he's been forced back 10 meters. Sounds like it's going to be possibly a yellow card here. Ken Owens or Jamie George, says Luke. Oh, I mean, I've watched a lot more of Jamie George throughout his premiership days than I have of Ken Owens throughout his URC days. So I'll probably go Jamie George in that regard. But Ken Owens, he has got that leadership quality at the moment for the Welsh. Been stepping up. Italy already given away 7 penalties in the first 26 minutes. England. Looks like Farrell now going to be making the decision. Is he just going to... Oh, no, I thought he was going to just tap and throw it into that pack of forwards, but they have kicked it for the corner again. And Jamie George, this one's going to be hard to defend for Italy because they are certainly starting to find their momentum here. England, good morning from India. Says Stephen and Johnny Wilkinson. I can bring Naz, the kicking tee. That's gone over the top. Nicely taken by Dom Brandt. Another advantage against Italy. This time, I believe it is actually Lorenzo Cannone who's been penalised. And now marching, rolling slowly. Once again, I believe Cannone's in the wrong area, so he can't touch anything, or else he'll get himself penalised. Now Owen Farrell with the cross kick, trying to channel his inner Marcus Smith that isn't taken. Goes into touch. We're going back for another penalty to the Italians. And she's coming for Italy, says my name is Jeff, and which is Geordie Barrett's birthday. The bloke who had got given out when he got an inside edge and it was going down leg side definitely didn't enjoy it, says Sebastian. He played again for us in the last game. He's only a fill-in and he was back. And I think I apologized like 7 times. Right, Lorenzo Cannone is the man who goes to the bin now. The worst thing is, after I gave him out, I think he became one of the major sponsors of the club. So, I almost may have messed up a deal. Now, there's going to be a quick tap taken by Ellis Genge. England have gone, we don't want to bother with the rolling maul again. We'll just get this one going. Jack Van Porfliet. Counter ruck from Italy. One player goes straight through the middle. It was Fischietti. 5 meters out now. Jack Van Porfliet goes off into the hands now of the number 7, which isn't Tom Curry for this match. It is Jack Willis, who has already got himself a try. Now Kyle Sinclair. All is available again, says James Dolman, the Kiwi referee. All French, the rest of the refereeing panel. For this matchup, short ball up to Ollie Chisholm. And he'll score the try. England get their second. And there's going to be 12 points to 0. And Johnny, both feet are a bit better, in my opinion, because he tackled like a Trojan. And no way he gave a yellow, says Yanri. I mean, it was repeated infringements right in front of the goal line. And also we have got there, Kiwi lads, can I ask you something? It's nothing to do with the game, but I know you are very clever, says Anthony. I'll try my best to answer it, although I wouldn't say I'm very clever. I just talk fast. That's the thing I got going for me. And you should have told him next time you better middle it. Brutal. That one's gone over. But yeah, afterwards, I felt bad because he was like, it was his fault because he wasn't playing straight. But it was still like my era. I think, anyway. Looking at the replay of it, we didn't quite have the frameage that we wanted, but there was that little noise. So I think it was bad. Humble guy, says Nuzzy Williams. And how can you go back for a penalty after England almost scored after a cross kick? Because the ball went out. So normally 90% of the time when that happens, in fact, probably 98% of the time when that happens, they go back. When sending packages from DHL to the sender, do I write, Dear John? It ain't gone belong, says Nate. Now, 8. Don Brandt there carrying the ball. Jack Van Porfliet once again has another box kick on his hands. Gone high. 7.5 minutes still remaining of the Italian yellow card in England at the moment. That's going to be another knock on from Italy. Ollie Hazel-Collins gets it back across. Interception from the Italians, and we will be going back for the scrum. Forward scoring our tries. Don't mind it, though, says Sebastian. And Fussy from the Sharks going to the Stormers. What do you think about that? Weird. To be honest, that seems like a weird signing because I would have thought the Stormers already, with the amount of backs that they have, Damien Valimza, Marnie Lebok is their 10. They've got wingers. I don't understand why they need them, to be honest. That sounds bad, but I think they've already got a strong enough backline that they probably don't need a big signing like Apalele Fassi to also go into there. We've seen how great number 15 for them, Clayton Blomekes, has been since making his way to the club. So, where's Fassi going to go? Is he going to be a winger? Maybe on the right wing's the only spot I can see for Fassi because Blomekes, for me, has got that 15 locked in. And when he doesn't have it, Damien Willem's got it. Italy Rugby scoreboard. Chaos ensues. That is true. We're only 17 minutes. Oh, there we go with 30. We're up to 14. The mouse was in the wrong place, apparently. Ollie Chisholm, what kind of name is that? Flesh in 2023, says Gareth. And Fassi dem Italy. And Apalele Fassi has been slightly disappointing for the potential he was shown. He has been to a certain extent, hasn't he? Apalele Fassi. I think he's a little bit like, to a certain extent, Madosh Tambwe. If anyone remembers him, he's now at Bordeaux. But the thing that really let him down was his handling. And also sometimes in defence, he just got caught out of position. And I feel like that's relatively similar to Apalele Fassi at the moment. Just not quite finding his feet while he's out on the field. And I don't know whether it's because he doesn't know if he's playing right wing or fullback while he's out there, or if it's just not quite working out for him. Now it's nicely taken by one of the Ollies. It is Ollie Lawrence this time. Varney goes across to Capuzio. He should have kicked that because now he's under a huge amount of pressure here from the English. Over the ball. Almost had the turnover. In fact, it's going to be the big man. Was that the number 1? Fischetti has just kicked that one probably better than some of the backs would have. Gets it down to about 30 metres out. Release some of the pressure for the Italians. I like Tombwe. We follow him a bit in the top 14, says Sebastian. And there. And as a young player, as long as you're working on like your skills and everything, like he's probably, I assume, if he's in France, he's catching the ball a lot more now than he would have back when he was playing in the URC, or else then, like, yeah, they would have almost tried to sack him by now. And you're right, Storm, I don't need and waste a money signing, or maybe they just sign him to play Curry Cup, says Cameron. That is a good point. There are a lot of competitions at the moment that these South African sides find themselves in. Champions Cup, URC, and the Curry Cup as well. That one's kicked in behind. Italy taking it 5 metres out from their line. Padovani has to take the contact, and another good tackle made that time by Ollie Hassel-Collins. Right. It is going to be Ricky on here playing halfback. He decided against going for the box kick, even though he did see his loose head prop teammate going for the boot not too long ago. Looking for this ball. Has to go digging for it there, Varney. He's being told to use it. Boots sit high. And into touch. Went about as far as the one did from Fischetti. And also we have got, and there, mate, that's what name it is. And it's a rich name. And will Italy score a try before halftime? Maybe not before halftime, just because they've still got another 4 minutes of being at a man disadvantage. But second half, first 10 minutes, I think is looking relatively good for Italy, I would say. Neither side has actually lost a line-out yet, which is quite an impressive stat. 14 line-outs successfully retained throughout this matchup. Now, Jamie George starting to roll forward again for England. Something that they have used quite a bit throughout this match is their rolling maul. This time, Jamie George. Oh, number 21 might be a little bit wobbly on his feet. And he's actually a replacement for the injury of Lamaro. So you don't really want him also injured, or else you're in a bit of trouble. Jack Van Porfia straight through, gives it to Alice Jean, 5 metres out. Great tackle by Varney, putting the body on the line now, going off to Kyle Sinclair, looking to the short side. Here's Farrell with the grubber in behind, taken by Italy, run into touch by Padovani, and I believe it will now be the goal line dropout again. And also, rugby is a game of 80 minutes, and you don't win the Curry Cup in May, says John. And also, we have got there, let's hope we got better refs in the World Cup, says Luke. They've just mentioned Owen Farrell making the wrong decision there. He had 4 men on his outside, instead decided to try and grubber to Jamie George on the wing. Now, yes, Jamie George has got a little bit of toe, but through the hands would have probably worked a lot better in that scenario. And now the goal line dropout for Italy, putting it high. And down to 40 metres out, Alex Dombrandt now tries to drive at the defensive line, runs at Luca Moresi, another advantage, goes the way of England. I said that the Italian player was impeding, even though the ball was sitting there ready for the English. Now back line, doesn't quite work out, but Max Malins manages to regather the ball after it was loose. Beautiful sell of the double, or the dummy there from Malins. Inside ball to Jack Van Porfleet. And that is the third now of the match for the English. They're looking clinical today when they do get that space. And all they need to score now, Hamish, says John. In fairness, he wasn't wrong, says Sebastian there. But it is going to be Jack Van Porfleet, helped set up by Max Malins, who they are actually showing on the screen rather than Jack Van Porfleet. So they've decided that the assist was better than the finish. It was a great almost sell of the dummy, just left that ball out to his side and then just swooped inwards. There's Jack Van Porfleet, the try scorer. There we go. Now they've put it up on the screen, saying that he has managed to score it. Oh, they want to check obstruction, though. So this might not be a try. And try to try England, on the other hand, nice quote of note, says John. Right, they want to check the foul play here. And also, so the loss last week was Eddie's fault. Is this one Eddie's win? Says Gareth there. Oh, okay. So they're only checking to see if Ollie Lawrence, the new number 12, has pushed over the number 21, who is a replacement forward. So, right, where is he? Okay, he's tripped him, but he might be far enough away that they just say that this is going to be still a try. So he catches his heel. Ooh, they're going to go obstruction. Jack Van Porfliet's try is going to be disallowed, and this is going to make the English crowd at Twickenham very angry, I would think. Hopefully Tommy Freeman starts the next game. He's looking, oh lordy. Says Scrum less. And they're going to take it away, says Scrum less. Okay, so the reason that becomes more of a no try as they go with, I believe the reasoning there for Dolman really is because he was in front of the play. So that is the thing that slightly ticked him over the edge. It's still going to be the penalty advantage to England, so they might still end up scoring that try anyway, but because he was in front, that's the thing that really hurt him. So Lawrence just ended up tripping that player. I don't think there was much malice in it. He just ended up running the same spot as the Italian number 21. And ladies shouldn't say the word poop. Cheers, Gareth. Okay, they've gone for the kick for touch here, England. Continuing to go for that aggressive style that they've had so far. Now 10 metres out from the line, Jamie George. Another line out opportunity here. And Jeff Van Porfley, he'll be a little bit sad because he did end up missing out. Did you watch the NRL today? I only caught a little bit of the... Which game did I end up seeing a little bit of? I think it was the Dolphins versus Cowboys game. I got to see a bit. That is going to be Jamie George's try instead now. And also I saw like 5 minutes of the Brisbane versus Gold Coast Titans game. I ended up waking up relatively late, and then George, he did have work, so we didn't get to do our own NRL live stream. I should also mention that George isn't here for this one because he was going to be sleeping instead, just in case he had work early tomorrow morning. And when his advantage over, it is quite a long advantage, that one. Going from one side of the field to the other. Jamie George just waiting patiently off that rolling maul. And we didn't really see it too much up against the Scots last week for England, rolling maul-wise. That annoys Katie a lot, Gareth. I remember when she said, if she hears the phrase, it's not ladylike again, she's going to lose the plot, says Sebastian. So what you're saying is she has probably thrown something at a wall by now. And also, he said I was a lady, says Carlos. There we go, yep. And I don't think Italy will score in this game. England getting their set piece right, momentum starts flowing. Confidence growing. What next? Big score line tonight. Dolphins Cowboys was close as Cowboys score in the last seconds, says Nazi Williams. So it'll be interesting to see how the Dolphins go this year because they're probably the most anticipated side, you'd say, but they'll take a little bit of time to find their right team, what they really think is their lineup. They match up with that kick. It's missing away to the left, so the score is now 19 points to 0. For the English. And also, do you identify as a Apache attack helicopter? Says Gareth. I don't know why that one got me so much because I'm just thinking of an image of someone sticking like a couple large like blades or lightsabers, you know, those double-ended ones, and just twirling it. Now Jack Van Porfliet rolling it back because that would be cool. Yeah, write that on your CV. Male, female, other, please specify. Apache attack helicopter. You're not getting the job. I'm sorry, but they probably won't give you that one. Unless it's a job flying one, because you know, if you know what it's like being one, you're probably good at flying one too. Nice set play from Italy here. Varney on the halfway line. Another big carry forward. This time Juan Inacio breaks. The man with that ball. Back across here. Nice work from Italy. Just phases together. They're back to 15 now as well. Oh, A little bit of a rough pass to Capuzzo, but he was able to show some real skills last week up against France, scoring his try, flying down the wing. Nice cutout pass through the hands of, it was actually the number 5, Federico Russo, who found himself out on the wing, and it looks like he's not too happy at the moment. Coach of Italy, unfortunately. And also we have the Dolphins for the 2023 wooden spoon. Says Nate, wouldn't that be a monumental mistake if that was the case? But it might happen at the end of the day. And Dragons for the spoon. Says, my name is Jeff, and also some days I'm the cereal, some days I'm the milk, and I'm always the spoon. E. Jones coaching coming through, hey? Says S. Bok. Now, Jack Van Poortvliet, there's still 20 seconds left of the half. Now, Owen Farrell goes short to Kyle Sinclair. Hasn't had a huge amount of carries throughout this matchup. In fact, we haven't had a huge amount of scrums since that first about 15 minutes or so. Dombrandt just pushing the Italian number 11 over Minicello. Toge goes to Farrell, tries to spin, finds the offload to Mara Toge again. The Saracens teammates linking up nicely there. Now Jack Van Poortvliet goes off to the left. Quick pass to Farrell. Offloads it up now. Here comes Lewis Ludlam. Big bump off from the Saints, number 6. Now again, the English just phase after phase. Up to 8 now. Kicked him high from Jack Van Poortvliet. Freddie Stewart. Oh, that's just a push. You can't do that. It's a knock on from Farrell as well. So it's at least going to be the advantage to Italy. But Freddie Stewart, that's going to be halftime. Okay, so that is going to be the end of the first 40 anyway. Spoon. Where's Grant when you need him? And the Cyclone hard out wins. And also right now, an hour's good undies drawing wind. Save power. Says Nazi. Just make sure you don't leave them out there too long, because if you get a gust, someone down the street might end up with them, and then you might get yourself in a bit of trouble. So I think the moral of the story is write on the tag what your name is, and then eventually they might come back to you. 3 tries from 3 forwards. You don't see it every day, says Sebastian. True. England definitely favouring those big forwards. Couple close ones. Of course, we almost saw Jack Van Poortvliet score, but was disallowed in the end. But Italy at halftime, down by 19. They're going to need a massive second half if they want a chance in this fixture, but you just never know. Rugby is an unpredictable game. We played better than Dolphins today, says Nate. In fact, while we are at halftime, we are quickly going to look through and see what exactly all those results were of the preseason. I saw that the Indigenous game versus the Māori All-Stars was close for the men and close for the women, which was great to see, one going each way. So it was Panthers beat the Eels. I knew that one. That was yesterday. Storm Roosters was a game I wanted to watch, but I was asleep during it. Bulldogs beat the Raiders. 22-22 for the Cowboys Dolphins, and 24-24 for the Broncos versus Titans. Broncos were up quite a bit, weren't they? About 18-4 or 18-0 or something. So good comeback from the Titans in the second half of that one. Yeah, some close games for preseason, which is great to see. Where do you think they'll put Elliot Daly? Out of everywhere for them, it's probably that left wing rather than Hazel Collins. I think at this point, Max Malins has really proved himself as that right wing choice. And the Storm lost, says Nazi Williams. And the thing is, they may lose next week up against the Warriors as well, but then they'll probably go on and beat the Warriors in the regular season. That's kind of what they normally do, and they normally ruin the Warriors' points differential as well in the process. Yeah, we are actually hoping to do a bit more of the NRL this year. I feel like we missed out on quite a bit of the preseason last time. And quite a bit of the regular season. We only got about 6 matches in, so we will be hoping to do a lot more. Of course, we'll be making preference for Warriors games if there aren't overlaps, seeing as they are the Kiwi team in the comp, but then also we'll hopefully get a few of the Australian sides going head-to-head throughout an Storm loss to Altona Roosters, and Italy are improving. Lol, says Krampus. The thing is, though, 19-0 for Italy. Some would look at that as not a great scoreline, but like to a certain extent, that's still not absolutely terrible from Italy. You know, like they were a man down at one point, which was when they scored one of their tries. And also the rest of the tries have pretty much just been big forwards making those runs and the rolling maul. So if anything, Italy's rolling maul maybe hasn't improved, but the rest of their game, I think, has come a long way for them. And they just need to try and be a little bit more, I guess you could say, patient in the second half. But also they need to commit that one extra man to the breakdown to keep that ball on their side. And why would you call a team Roosters? Like, you just called yourself the Cocks, says Gareth. True. I haven't got anything. I was going to say but there's no but there. That's literally just it, isn't it? What are roosters good for? In terms of, I know that they make noise in the morning. What else do roosters do? Like, what's their job? You know, what if you put a CV down on a table as a rooster, what have you got to offer? Because they don't lay eggs, do they? That would be the hens. The roosters just go, and then that's it. They go, right, I've done me dash for the day. Just chill out. 24 hours time, do it again. Just like a clock. And also, what about New Zealand's badminton team? That was something that came to my mind. I think it's terrible given their performance against France. People were expecting more from them, including me, says Sebastian. I think England have just done very well in the breakdown and forced them to lose that ball quite a bit. Compared to yesterday, this game is dull and boring. England no flair, some dark arts employed by both teams here. It's just 1999 English rugby. Barbecue roast boil up with watercress. Wait, so roosters are only good for eating, is what you guys are saying there. And after playing France last week, says Nate there, my sister lives in Melbourne, so I'm a massive Storm supporter, so I get a lot of banter from my poor Warriors, so I'll take that loss, says Nazi Williams. The Roosters is the alarm clock. Yeah, so their job is go, and then once they've done that, they can chill. Too easy. And also 9:49 a.m. Super Bowl Sunday Central, says Kerman. I'll check what time the Super Bowl is New Zealand time, but I don't think we'll be covering it, unfortunately. Just because, like, I have been lacking sleep over the weekend, not complaining about it, but I know that at some stage I'll have to catch up on that sleep that I have missed out on from doing late night Six Nations live streams. I've got 4 hours over like 2 nights. That's enough, isn't it? That's reasonable. And early park the bus and make it boring, says Krampus there. And roosters are there to be eaten. Then they compost. Sorry, I said it like an American, didn't I? I think I'm becoming more and more American every day. And hit the hens as much as possible, says Kerman there. Is that like clicking a button on an alarm clock, trying to like set the time? I don't think I've ever heard of anyone eating a rooster as well. I don't know if that's just a me thing. Like we've had a turkey before for Christmas, or like a chicken, like roast chicken. I've had a few, but how do you feel about Andrew Tate? Says Luke. Well, the fella's in prison at the moment, isn't he? So, I mean, it's a tricky rabbit hole to go down because I know that YouTube are very keen on not letting people say too much about it. So I will say, what do you say really, other than, some people would say that some of the things you say are good, but then also you can't be going to prison because then it kind of takes away from it, doesn't it? A rooster is a male chicken. Is it? Well, I thought a rooster was slightly different to a chicken. Wow. I've learnt something. See, I always thought of a roast chicken as a roast chicken, like a normal sized chicken, not a rooster. Now I feel bad. I'll never eat a chicken again. I have to masturbate now, says Nazi Williams. I'm so proud of my boys for taking him down, whoever he is, says Sebastian. Do you even care, says Gareth? Not really, no. And also come run it at us roster or rooster. See if you're still walking after 80 minutes. Did you watch Volks last night with Islam last fight? Very close. It was. And Volkanovski lost his title, but he's mad. He wants it back. He's saying, give me the rematch at some stage very soon. And also, it was good to see a couple of the other guys get themselves wins. Tyson Pedro, I think he lost, didn't he? Jamie Malarkey got the win. Who was the Kiwi on the prelims who lost, unfortunately? Shane Williams, was it? No, I can't remember his name now, unfortunately. But yeah, he ended up losing, didn't he? Unfortunately, we did see Justin, what's his face, get a win though. You see, my name game's strong at the moment. And 2 minutes gets too easy. Done in 10 seconds. Says lose Nate. I thought he took it. Says Fleshin. Did he? No, I thought Islam got it in the end. I think. Yeah, Islam managed it by decision. I thought so. Just. Are you good at bowling or batting or both? Well, we've got a video coming out in the near future of us doing our GoPro batting. Bowling-wise, you'll only be able to see it from the sideline. That probably won't make it into the video, so I can tell you now. I bowled quite a few wides, unfortunately. Like, it wasn't so much the bowling wasn't ideal. Because when you think of wides, you think, oh, no, he's not controlling it. But unfortunately for me, I would pitch it about this far outside off stump, and it would spin to a wide, which wasn't ideal. I don't know what was making it spin so much, but my lees were taken off. So I don't know if the seam was in the right spot. We were on artificial, which normally means you don't get as much turn. But yeah, it was just given a rip, and it would just absolutely go for it. So I think I bowled like 4 wides in the matchup, or maybe even 6. It wasn't ideal. I don't see a slam this year, and old man Farrell might be happy if that happens, says Peter, and haven't you got a Nigerian fighting for you, Hamish, says John Mills. If you're talking about Israel Adesanya, then yes. And a couple of mates said that Volkanovski was robbed. I didn't watch the fight myself. These blokes know their MMA. I almost said Eminem there. Know their MMA. Yeah, it was one of those fights that they easily would have gone either way. And I don't think, like, to a certain extent, Volkanovski, he'll be disappointed with losing in decision, but he'll also be more disappointed in himself for not finishing that fight. And watch the ref help the Italian second half, says Crumpus with the exclamation point. That's how you know he's serious. Shane Young. That's the one. I know his name was something S as the start, but I couldn't think of the rest. But yeah, Justin Tuffer was the other one that I was thinking of. And Jimmy Crute and Alonso Menefeld ended in a draw, which was a little bit of something unique. If you play rugby, which position would you play? I used to play wing, but I'm no longer quick, so I'd probably go half back. But you need to be fit, as someone referred the other day. And I remember back when I was asked this question about 6 months ago, someone was like, which position would you play? And I think I said halfback. And someone just pretty much said, Hamish, you are nowhere near as strong, quick, or have anything going for you to be able to play that position in rugby. So I was like, okay, fair enough. Don't like answering that one anymore. And I thought he had it, especially given the size difference, says Fleshin. And also, World Rugby don't like cricket scores, says Peter. Yeah, second half. Not too far away from getting underway. Hamish Roosters keep the lady chickens happy, says a roof. True. I guess that makes the population grow, doesn't it, for the chickens? I've seen that the Super Bowl starts at 12:30 p.m. New Zealand time. Chiefs versus Eagles. So I don't think I'll be catching that one. I think that will be when I am asleep. England are bad, or are in bad. Ireland and France will beat them, says Val. We have already seen Scotland do so. And next week, we get to see England versus Wales. So we have to wait a little bit longer for those matchups of England versus France and also Ireland versus England. It's actually going to be next week's a big week. Or sorry, the week after, and then round 4, I think, is my favorite round of the Six Nations. Because it's going to be England versus France. It's going to be Scotland versus Ireland, which at that stage, both sides could be undefeated. And then it's going to be Italy versus Wales, which is that competition of who might finish last in the Six Nations as the table currently sits. Come on, Pommy's kick Italian butt, says Roof. And tough let the game be what it is, says Crumpus there. Agree, says Peter. And there as well. And also, who's the player of the match so far, Kiwi lads? Any English? I would say first half, who we've seen the most of. I mean, Jamie George is probably in with a decent shout, seeing as he has done quite well. Jack Willis as well. He started the match well, but then he kind of disappeared in that last about 15 minutes or so. We didn't really see too much of him. Which position in the forwards is the roughest? Probably depends a little bit on who you're up against. Because, you know, some positions, depending on who you're against, can be a very tough day at the office. Hey, how come Italy gets a Sky Sport 1 spot and others have to settle for Sky Sport 2, says Sebastian. Ooh, it's a good question. If it makes you feel better, it's on Sky Sport 2 here in New Zealand. So maybe it's just England. They have got it different. And also against the South African prop. And also Willis says Peter. Yeah, I think Willis for the forwards has definitely been very handy for the English. And France and Scotland game to watch. Ireland probably play fresh legs against Italy, says Nate. And Oz, it's easier. And Italy keep neck rolling England and the ref ignores it. Very dangerous, says Crumpus there. Oh, here's a fun one, Crumpus. Have you got one good thing to say about Italy from their first half? What would you say that they did well? I feel like that's the kind of thing that we do in primary school, isn't it? How it's like, yes, you can see the negatives, but what are the positives that you can see in it as well? I love these England broads. How the game must be hot, says Aval. And South Africa or Osama on back. As well, says Nazi Williams. At 6 needs to be a monster, but loose head needs to carry, lift, and lead the scrum. Didn't enjoy the couple times I played tight head, says Gareth, but both sides now running back out onto the field. Italy haven't done anything good, says Crumpus. That's the spirit. And they didn't get beaten by more, says Gareth. See, that's a positive. You know, they could have conceded more points. I'm liking your mindset, Gareth. They're not improving. The media lies, says Crumpus. I mean, if you look at where they were last year, though, and you look at how, or in fact, sorry, a little bit earlier on, last year's Six Nations, you look at what they did in the November internationals, getting the win over Wales last year for the Six Nations. If you're trying to tell me that Italy haven't made some sort of improvement over the last couple years compared to where they were, then, I mean, you just got it out for Italy is the best way of putting it. And I feel like the term negative Nancy might fit quite nicely into that kind of pool. But it's going to be kicked off now for the second half of rugby between these two sides, nicely taken by Federico Ruza. Now roll back, 22 metres out. Oh, that wasn't supposed to go to Negri, but he's taken it nicely. And Lol Truth Teller says Crumpus there. And also, what's the best pasta you've ever eaten? As your commentary sounds like music to my ears. Just got off 9 hours at work. Geez, that's a bit tough, isn't it? 9 hours on a Saturday, I believe it is for you. No, in fact, it will be Sunday over there. They just haven't got it right tight, says Alvarez. Yeah, this game has been a struggle for Italy compared to last week up against the France. Do you work Sunday's roof? That's tough. And last year's score was 33-0. So any score is an improvement, says Gareth. I like Gareth's mindset. But we have seen total kicks, 18 from England, 10 against, or 10 from Italy, I should say, as well. But Italy, they win the early penalty, so now looking for this line out early on. Will be Nicotera looking to throw this one in. Nicely taken. Both sides haven't actually lost a line out, so perhaps that is something that we could praise the teams for throughout that first half. Now Varney going short to Negri again. It seems like he keeps on doing dummy runs and not expecting the ball, but still manages to catch it when the Italians decide to go to him. Now in behind, nice short run. I believe that would have been the Italian number 5, Ruza again. Now Varney. Italy starting to make some decent meters here. I'm back across to the right. Nicotera, bounce pass. Oh, sorry, not bounce pass, hot pass. Out to 21, 5 phases in. Now big contact. Decided to run straight at him. Kanoni was the man who went to the bin earlier on. That looked a little bit high from Itoje. Up to 8 phases. I hope they don't kick this away and instead just keep on trying to attack because the gaps almost starting to open up now for the Italians. They go short side, not a lot of space. He's risked it going down the wing, but does stay in. Varney back across here. Tommaso Allen. Good phase play from the Italians. Up to 11 now. Now Varney again. Going to Juan Inacio Brex in behind. Short ball. Thought about the offload. He finds it. And now Capuzzo, 5 meters out from the line, finds the offload up to another one of his big forwards who's driven into touch Rizzi. He might have just get the ball in play. That is brilliantly done by the Italians. They may have to check that if there is a try, but 3 meters out from the line, Varney now goes off to the left-hand side up to 15 phases now. Italy continuing to try and get over the line for the first time in this matchup. There was almost obstruction. Now still 5. Varney going out nicely now. 3 minutes into the second, and we've hardly seen England with the ball sniping around the side. Varney, clothesline from Maro Itoje. This might be considered as a high tackle and maybe something more, but it's going to be the try for Italy. And they managed to get themselves the first try. Tommaso Allen, a Kiwi, Hamish says, John? Not that I know of, but I could be wrong there. Tell you what, that was a brilliant bit of phase play from the Italians. 17 or so phases they just threw at the English. Now they were close to the touchline, but just keeping this one in the field of play, I believe. Does he let it go? Yeah, he does. Great work. It's a positive attitude from Italy. And finally on the board, says Alvarez, and Alan is Scottish, says Peter. And Ireland have click scrum less and 4-day week. No such thing for us in hospitality, says Gareth. And Ireland has a 4-day work week. Time to start paying more attention to Ireland. They're figuring this stuff out. And there you go, Italy. So that will now make the score 19 points to 7. And nice, Italy. Nice. Keep it up, says Nazi Williams. Yeah, that was more like Italy from last week, wasn't it? A squeaky bum time for England. Yeah, they cannot afford to allow Italy to score again early, or else then, you're starting to look at a little bit of a closer game. And carbonara sauce is so smooth, like Brad Pitt. Also like Neapolitan sauce, spicy and tomato, says Ruth there. I never really had Neapolitan ice cream. Like that much. You know the one that's like vanilla, strawberry, and chocolate? Never really got into it too much. Big run there from Ollie Lawrence. England now have decided, well, if they're going to have a 17-phase attack, we'll just try and get it done in about 5 phases. Good tackle made on Max Malins. Player unable to roll away, but that ball's available. Now, Van Poortvliet. On back nicely. Good tackle made. Now going out to the left. Big run from Ollie Chisholm. We've always be going on about men, says Nazi Williams. Atoje. Tackled nicely. Now Van Poortvliet still looking to try and get his first try of the match. He almost had one earlier on. Just ended up missing out. Smooth like Charlize Theron. The ball's up. It's a fair competition, but then Italy just gave it up. They just decided that they didn't want it anymore. And England had a little bit more fight in that one. On foul short ball to Freddie Stewart, who's cut in half with that tackle from Juan Ignacio Brex. Oh, there's a bit of push and shove between Farrell and one of the Italians. And Farrell's done a beautiful role there, holding one of the players down and just asking that question of, are you sure you want to go with me, son? Do you know who my dad is? He's the dad of, or he's the coach of Ireland, isn't he? Right, there is a bit of bargy. Okay, now it's getting worse. They were just splitting it up, and now those two, Owen Farrell and Kanoni, have not let go of each other. And also, we have got their way in with Maro's clothesline average, not penalised. No, they just said that since it was a try, it was all right. So a big shot there, drives him down, and then Farrell gave him a bit of afters. So then the Italian player was just sitting on him. And it was actually Sebastian Negri, who then got rolled over, and Farrell held him down. So, there's a bit of grabbing going on. So, okay, James Dolman's just pretty much said, appreciate the emotion, but don't do it. And also, it's a 2-score game. Yes, indeed. And also, Ruth mentioned Brad Pitt, and the sequel to Fight Club has just popped up on my screen, or on the screen. Here's Sebastian. Hello, Nazi, watching some ruggers. I love those shoulders and thighs in the scrum. Oh, okay. One of the commentators firing shots. Love said, how many illegal shots has Owen Farrell put in over the time? So no wonder they're giving him a bit of afters when they put in a big hit on him. Sebastian, I'm a psychic, not psycho. There's a Fight Club sequel, says Gareth. And also, I think Italy doing better than last year. Yeah, they have looked like they've improved. As much as some people don't like to say that they have. Overall, there have been major improvements in Italian rugby over the last couple of years. Big push in the scrum. That's going to be their penalty, doesn't it? No. They've said ball's out. So it's going to be jumped on by England. And now they're going to have 10 metres between them and the try line again here. Now Van Poortvliet goes short. England. Farrell's got this one. Goes for the grubber again. Wrong choice, mate. And now it's been cleaned up by Padovani, who's only 5 metres out from his own line. And they will be able to now look for the kick. But Farrell has been too keen to kick this ball away throughout this half. And actually throughout this matchup, you'd have to say. I thought you loved the old Blondie halfback from South Africa, Fuff. I say it and it happens. Some say I'm a white Sangoma. I said that correctly? Sangoma? I mowed the lawn also trimming. I'll mow the lawn also trimming, says Nate there. That's just reminding me how long our lawn's getting. Like every time it rains, the lawn just grows massively and then it just gets dry. So you're worried you're going to kill it off when you start to mow it when it gets a little bit towards that orange state. George about to throw the ball in for the English. Yeah, Fuff has the best eyes and hear. Good combination. You have to say, you mean Baby Thor, says Scrum Lass. Right, White, you're on the line. Italy, 5 meters. In fact, it's about 3 meters, isn't it? Between them in the line out. Nicely claimed by Atoje. Now Van Porfliet goes short ball to Dan Lawrence. In fact, that's Ollie Lawrence. I'm confusing my English cricketers with my rugby players. Penalty goes the way of Italy. Right on mower or normal mower, Hamish. So we've got a bit of backyard and front yard to get through, but we do just use the push mower, like the normal mower, yeah. So it takes a good few hours. And I'll say, yet when I mention Charlotte Caslick, people think I'm a fapping predator. Are they right? No. Yeah. I can't say too much more, can I? Get myself in trouble. Italy now, line out, 45 meters out from their own line. Simone Ferrari on the field now for Italy. I didn't judge this very well. I drank pretty much 3/4 of the bottle in the first half, and now I've had to ration for the second half to make sure that I don't drink at all. Nice short ball from Italy. Canoni now moves up to the halfway line. Italy have to work hard to get that ball. Ruza does well. Jack Willis almost onto it. When will they bring on Smith? I'd assume around the 60th minute or so of the English, maybe even a little bit later if they're trying to really cement Farrell as that 10 option. Oh, that's a huge... I heard the jaw of Ellis Genge go as he landed on the ground there. Oh, it looks like Sinclair's not too flashy either. He might have taken a bit of a knock on the nose. It's kicked him on from Jack Van Porfliet. Waiting for that one to bounce. Petovani does well to clean up and just stall long enough. Brilliant work. Although, over the ball there, England get the penalty. They celebrate it like they've won the Six Nations. Definitely Ollie Chisholm. He's happy with that one. Yeah, I think it might have been actually Kyle Sinclair's jaw that went and give Smith a chance in the centres. And also wouldn't have a clue if I'm an uneducated chul dropout. Google that, says Nuzzy William. And also there, Queen Charlotte Caslick Roof. She's an Aussie Sevens player. Right, so Genge goes in, gets dropped, and then, does Sinclair get kicked in the head by his teammate? He does. As the weather in England, it's about 10 degrees, I think they mentioned earlier on. Not too much rain around. So Ellis Genge's cauliflower ear has been busted open. He ended up kicking Kyle Sinclair in the face, which has caused the blood to be coming out of Sinclair's nose. As I'm educated by Google School, it's for free. I told you it's very quiet these days, please. Never ever compare these guys to Evan Etzebeth, says Esbach. And Ellis Genge just nailed Kyle in the face with studs. Yikes. Yeah, so he'll be going off. It looks like one of his eyes, I don't know whether he's closing it or whether it's starting to close maybe with a bit of a black eye starting to form. Can you please shut up, says Jade. If I was to be quiet, Jade, the commentary would be very different. It would sound like this. Wouldn't quite be the same, would it? Unfortunately. So, yeah, we kind of do have to talk, seeing as live commentary involves explaining what's happening. But hope you're doing well, Jade. You seem like a ball of joy. Now rolling more here for Jamie George. Curving round again for the English. That's just short of the line. It hasn't been dragged down legally, and they may end up in the situation of a penalty try they do, and this is going to be a yellow card now. Unfortunately, for the Italians, and that will be try number 4. So that is the bonus point for the English. And Jade, that defeats the point of commentary. And there it also, we have got, they're always a pleasure to chuck you out, Jade, says Sebastian. And onto the shadow zone with Jade, says Gareth. And dumb English forward, says John. Well, they've just scored a try from that English forward pack. Oh, lordy looky there. And also enjoy the Kit Kat, my guy, says Blues Nate. And also tries, says Sebastian. And silence is not golden, says Spock. It's a bit hard to know what's going on when it's silent, isn't it? I mean, I could try and sign language it, but it wouldn't quite be as effective. Maybe Jade did enjoy sign language instead. Possibly. So what we could do... No, I don't know how old Jade was. I was going to say go like this and remove 2 fingers of your choice, but... yeah. Or read between the lines, but that's harsh, isn't it? We shouldn't do that. Jade could be a child. Who you got for this year's Rugby Championship since Eddie is back at Australia and Argentina? Going better and better. Says Luke. Now it is going to be kick downfield from England. Padovani. Downfield. Longest kick distance, 52 metres. That seems like a weird stat to have, but it's a good boot in that case. But it's 26 points to 7. Italy now find themselves, unfortunately, with a large disadvantage now. About 19 points. And I was not Australia, mate. Do it, boss. But a sass goes a long way, says Sebastian. I don't think sass comes off naturally for myself. I'm not much of a savage, as the kids these days would say. And respectfully, says Nutty Williams. 8 minutes 40 left of the Italian yellow. Wait. What you get up to, my cuz? Says Blues Nate. Right. Italy are going to have the line out. They need another try here because a bonus point for Italy would actually be pretty massive in this contest compared that they were 19 down at halftime. I'm just going to try their absolute best to... One moment, we'll go like that. There we go. Yeah, try their absolute best to not have this one as a runaway. They've scored points on the board. That's the main thing. Van Porfliet goes off to Alice Genge. For you, Jade. Okay, Sebastian's straight to the point, isn't he? Now going off to the left-hand side. 35 metres out from the line. Big run from Jack Willis, who he has been good throughout this matchup. Willis at 7. Now Farrell looks for the offload. Does find it to Van Porfliet. Lured in a couple defenders in the process as well. Good tackle made on Van Porfliet there by the number 21. Off to the short side again. It's Henry Slade. He's hardly been about. I actually forgot he was on the field. Now Farrell. That might be because Farrell keeps on kicking. He's just gone for the kick in behind again. It does go out 5 metres from the Italian line. A successful kick from Farrell. And you mess with the ball, you get the horns. Says Scrumless. It's a good kick in behind from Farrell. And Italy now have to make sure that they continue to get this line out right. Where Italy having better results with Sir John Kerwin was coaching them. Oh, it's a little while ago, wasn't it? Maybe, or I don't know. Not in the Six Nations. Much. They still weren't terrible though, were they? At times, Italy. They're one of those teams that seem to go in waves of momentum. Nicely won in the line-out, but they have taken off Jack Willis now, so very good performance from him. Definitely a man of the match contender for this match. 10 metres out from their line. Now a box kick from Varney and 21 foreign-born in the Scottish squad, says Peter. I think the Italians need more expats in their team like Scotland, says John Mills. And Spain beat Germany 32 points to 16 today as well. I swear, at the time of seeing that one, Germany were winning 16 points to 11. So Spain must have had a very good second half. Come back and win at 32-16. Nicely taken by Ludlam again. Jack Van Porfliet goes to Farrell short ball. Off to Alex Dombrandt. Italy, they have conceded that bonus point already, but not all is lost in this contest as of yet. That was all. It could have been an interception if he was looking for it, but instead Max Malins kicks it down the wing. Juan Inacio breaks. Cleans it up beautifully. And Italy now still inside of their 22. We'll have to try and clear this one again. And also bring on Smith. Our Marcus Stevo. Says Blues now in Spain and Belgium keep fielding ineligible players somehow, says Peter. It's a shame for Spain in that World Cup scenario, isn't it? Missing out. Now Varney. He will put the kick up again. Partially charged. Did it hit Maro Toje's hand? It certainly did. I do see Marco Vunipola now getting ready to come out onto the field. That will be for Alice Genge. And JP Pretorius is available for Italy. Is he? Jeez, that would be a signing and a half. JP Pretorius or JC Pretorius? I'm probably thinking of the wrong guy, aren't I? I'm thinking of the Sevens player for the Blitz box. Who's JP Pretorius? Not sure who JP is. I'm trying to remember him. And also, Vincent Festival, how dare you? Zoots are amazing. Says Gonzalez, I hope the Roses don't take this game as a huge achievement. They've always had it over the Italians. It's another to write home about. The Atrutes are coming up against the French and Irish, says Roger. And some big matches just around the corner for the English. Arundel slapped out of their hands. That time it's a knock-on, though, from Lewis Ludlam. And Italy, they were asking for the penalty. They will instead get themselves the scrum feed, which might not quite be as much of what they wanted as a kick downfield. But Harry Arundel now making his Six Nations and Twickenham Test debut. A big opportunity for the youngster. He's out wide. And he's on there for Ollie Hazel-Collins. That's who he's replacing. Sounds like Italy going to be making a couple more changes again. Now it is Ferrari already on the field, so it will now be the number one. Making his way off the field for Zani. And also Luca Biggi will be making his way out onto the field as well, I believe. And Riccioni has to come off. That is due to the sin bin. They don't have, and Henry is here, says Scrumless. And also JC Pretoria says Esbok and Italy are a good team now, apparently. So why shouldn't England celebrate wildly, says Krampus. Hello, Krampus. Welcome back. We did miss yet the Italian try, but back now. Hope you're doing well. Varney about to put the ball in. It's going to be the free kick to Italy. They might consider just tapping this one and kicking it downfield into touch and then allowing England to have the line out. Oh, he took your weak mix, Stephen. So JK is neither a scholar, gentleman, or well-dressed. He does, however, really enjoy the sound of his own voice, says Stephen there. I think that's the case for a lot of the New Zealand commentators, isn't it? Justin Marshall. He's one who probably, if he could have a podcast and just listen to it himself while he records it, he'd do that, I think. Now, England have got this ball. Going to be put back into the pocket. Henry Slade off his left boot. Putting it high, nicely taken by Capuzio. And CJK loving my head, and at least he has the balls. Have his opinion. And also it's kicked off in the chat, says Sebastian. Yeah, it always does somehow, doesn't it? JC Pretorius, he hasn't played for the Box yet, so Italy can buy him. Did you know JC Pretorius has played his first 15s? Says S-Box. So how does it work with him being a Sevens representative for South Africa, though? Does that not cut him out of Italian selection status if he's played internationals for Sevens, or does that not count towards it or something? And Weetabix, says Stephen. Lorenzo Cannone going to be making his way off the field. Pelledri, making his way on it now. Now 56 minutes into this game. Italy still 3 tries down. Yeah, the English crowd singing in chats. It's rocking right now, says Nate. Tis. And also, what is SJK? That just stands for Sir John Kerwin. So slightly abbreviated. You also see Sir JK every once in a while. But it's not Sir just kidding. It's, Sir John Kerwin. Now, well done from Italy to get that ball back and Italy get more points. I think so. I think they just need a little bit of territory at the moment. And England have had a majority of it in the second half, other than those first 3 minutes when we did see, brilliantly done by Capuzio. Does the chip in behind. He's been hit hard by Freddie Stewart. It goes into touch. I know that guy from New Zealand, says Yoni there. And also we have got there BC isn't playing either. So Italy missing a big name. Says Gareth, and also has Weet-Bix over here. And Sir Gareth SJK is neither loved nor hated. His opinions are just completely uninformed. Says Stephen there, nicely taken by Maratoje. Are looking to get this rolling maul going forward, England again. That is one aspect of this game that they have really had a huge amount of success for. And Weetabix versus Weet-Bix poll. I think it depends, doesn't it? England, it's Weetabix, isn't it? That's brilliantly done from Italy. Again, they manage another turnover. They thought about the offload. This time they do manage to find it. Oh, but Toje has got the clean turnover for England. Another big shot put in by the Italians, but the penalty goes the way of England this time for accidental. Well, not accidental. He's just offside, isn't he? Toje, he's done well. We mentioned earlier on. And he's now starting to step up. Where's Tuolangi? Hamish? Probably injured. No, he hasn't been selected for this one. I don't know. Was he in the Six Nations squad? Tuolangi, because with Farrell being able to play 12 and also having Ollie Lawrence, I think they decided that they didn't also need him. Van Borfliet getting owned. Says Gavin, injured, says Blues Nate. And hit the likes button and subscribe to the Kiwi Lads if you're new. Welcome in, everyone. Says Nate there. Yeah, anyone who is new, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Van Borfliet now goes short to Farrell. Big run there. Straight through Ollie Lawrence. He sat down an Italian player. Oh, but now he's dropped the ball. Juan Ignacio Brex was inside of his own in-goal area. I believe they'll be going back for the initial knock-on. My mate's wife's sister pours brown ale on her Weet-Bix. Solid. Interesting. I know of people who put hot water on their Weet-Bix. What else? Hot water. I don't think I've heard of many people putting other than milk, not really much. I was going to say I don't think I've had anyone say that they put cold water on their Weet-Bix. And also, does Owen Farrell need a brain transplant? Stop kicking away possession. Says Ruben Tuolangi's brother Henry has a son playing in Trench top 14 now, so English one is pretty long in the tooth. Says Gareth. I never knew that Weet-Bix was before Weetabix. Who knew? Did you Google it, Peter? Peter's doing the research for everyone. Yeah, it's a weird one when you think about it, because why don't they spell it W-H-E-A-T? Weet-Bix, seeing as it is literally wheat. Why does it have to be W-E-E-T? Like, is the word wheat copyrighted? And thank God for Nate, as someone who actually does a good job as a mod plugging the channel. See, I don't even plug the channel. Nate's the only reason I remember at times. Orange, do they put orange juice on Weet-Bix? It sounds a bit... I don't know how it would taste. I mean, maybe it's nice, but I don't know how I'd handle orange juice on some Weet-Bix. Now, Max Malins passes across here, kicked him behind. This time it was actually the big number 20 who tried to kick Capuzio. Breaks through one. Tackled in the end again. Now, it is the penalty to Italy for coming in through the sides. All right, 20 minutes left. Italy still have time to try and get a little bit closer back in. Who's the English number 20? We'll quickly go like this and show you guys exactly who's coming off the bench. It was Ben Earl. That's the name that I couldn't remember. But Marcus Smith, he's yet to make his way out onto the field as of yet. But I said around the 60th minute they might bring him on. And I think that's probably going to be about now that they do decide to bring him out there. Nicotera, he's gone off the field, and that is for Biggie now, which I actually thought he made his way onto the field a bit earlier on. But once again, another successful line-out win for the Italians. So everyone at the moment is doing extremely well. And I'm checking the ingredients, says, oh, brilliant run from Capuzzo. We'll go back to Weet-Bix in a second. Beautiful inside ball to Varney. Now 15 meters out from the line. Another offload. Benil asking whether or not maybe they tried to play that ball on the ground. Varney, quick hands now. Already, it will be the replacement Zani getting the opportunity. I'll do Weet-Bix on yogurt or ice cream. Now, it is going to be Padovani again, 25 meters out from the line. Now Tommaso Allen offloads it up into the hands of Simone Ferrari. Vani to the right-hand side. Quick hands from Italy. Was it slapped down or was it just a handling error? Was it handling? No, it wasn't. It was slapped down. I said it was a knock-on from England, and Italy have the scrum 25 metres out. Bacon and eggs with hash browns, the one. That sounds great, doesn't it? And orange juice on cereal. Cereal, yeah, I don't know how it would go, to be honest. In fact, thinking about it, it just sounds like, ugh, don't know. It'd have to be really cold orange juice if you were going to do it. Because even just the thought of having slightly warm orange juice on like any type of cereal, my toes have completely curled up. I was hoping to have a breakfast yesterday. I think we mentioned it on the Six Nations one, but my mum had golf in the morning and George was busy. So I ended up just having, what I ended up having, I think I just had I think I had a banana for breakfast. That's all I had. And then I went to sleep for a few hours. But that cannot be the case today because after this live stream, I am pouring concrete. So that will be fun. Oh, we're hearing a little bit of a tune going around Twickenham in front of 83,000 attendance. W is pronounced a double V, and Europe mostly, says Gareth there. Now, it will be an Italian scrum 25 out from the line. And Bovril toast or fish paste and a cup of tea for me, says Gareth. And stag weekends and rugby weekends, it saves time, says Leshan. Now, Inacio breaks, great step. Good tackle made on him by Ollie Lawrence, who has had a very good game. Now, charging through, straight up the middle for Italy. 5 metres out from the line. Consider the offload. Wasn't able to find it. Now will be first go through an Italy score. Again up against the English. And that will make the score 26 points to 12. There's still time left if they want to find a late comeback. Hot milk on Weet-Bix. Is Jay having a bumpy day, Kiwi lads? As good as strawberries and cream with champagne, says Roof. I think Jay will be asleep at the moment. Jay Hayes, if that's who we're referring to. Even though he's in Perth, it will still be, it's just past midnight. He might still be awake. No problems, my bro. I got you all. Hamish, Sebastian, Katie, Gareth, Marco, Birdie, Robert, and Mr. David the Mod. Our latest is orange juice and coffee. Is it? Is that a new thing? Oh, they're starting to say that maybe there's a little bit of obstruction. The grounding's good. Okay, the try is good. They went and checked that one. The crowd, of course, are going to boo that. The kick goes over, though, and they'll make the score now 26 points to 14 already. 2 times as last year, says Gareth. And also try my kids have OJ with cereals, Gareth. What type of cereal do they have, Nate? Because that might affect it a little bit. Do it Swedish style Weet-Bix with yogurt. See, I've heard of other cereal with yogurt over here. I don't think I've heard Weet-Bix with yogurt, though. Like, in terms of, like, cornflakes or Special K or what else is there? Sultana brand. I don't know much other types of cereal that you'd put with Light and Tasty. That's another one, isn't it? Here in New Zealand, anyway. It probably isn't over there. Oats and yogurt. That's the thing people do. Weet-Bix and cornflakes. Rice bubbles. Rice bubbles used to be great, even though they didn't have a lot of taste. A lot of people preferred the Cocoa Pops because it's a chocolate milkshake only crunchy, as the advertising goes. And what is a rice bubble? That sounds interesting. I think it's just not fried rice, but it's kind of like a rice. What's it? There's a way of that they do it, how it makes it pop type thing. Rice Krispies, says Alfred. That is another way of saying it. What's the way of describing it? And get your old man to get your breakfast after the concrete ball, Hamish, says John Mills. I mean, he'll probably be too busy go out for breakfast. I'm going to work out what George is up to because I think me and him might be going to hunting and fishing at some stage to get some more lures because we keep losing them. Now, deep into the 22. Now, opportunity for the number 10, Tommaso Allen. Kicks it downfield. Good clearing kick. When did this fly show up? He's woken up. He's decided he's ready to start his day. Do you like orange juice? Yeah, Rice Krispies are all right. Rice Bubble. And also we have got the, I think he's, and please not Smith for Lawrence. Right. He's going to be now Alex Dombrandt going on the field for Nick Ezekwe. And I want to refund this match has gone all silly, says Crumpet. Is it silly because of Italy scoring? Or is it silly for a different reason, Crumpus? But yeah, Italy, I want to say they've played better in the second half, but I know that you might get annoyed. Although I think you would have to agree that compared to the first half, this is a better half for Italy. We're asking for a fly half, and a fly shows up, says Sebastian True. It's just on the mouse at the moment. It's just chilling. Flies are damn disrespectful, ain't they? They are. They just fly around, sit right next to you. That's going to be actually out on the far side for England. So now Italy get themselves the ball again. They take it quickly. They want to keep it alive, and they've got numbers on the outside to be able to do so. But this could be a risky tactic if it doesn't pay off. Juan Ignacio breaks, tackled by Owen Farrell, and the crowd really like that one. Counter ruck coming from the English. Going to be a loose ball. Jumped on there. Nice work in the end from Zuliani, I should say. Trying to understand Weet-Bix and yogurt. Does it soften up or stay dry? I think it would stay kind of dry, but you just have to break it up first type thing. And it would become kind of like a sticky, oh, it's a knock on from Italy. Yeah, it would become like a sticky, oh, the referee went back for the advantage. And tell you what, that could have been a runaway try for Arundel in his first game. The ref has lost the plot, though, says Krampus. And I'm not a serial guy, bacon and eggs for me. Farrell gets 60 minutes with 2 centres and kicks it all, says Peter. Yeah, like we've seen the danger that Ollie Lawrence brings to that midfield. And I don't think he's been passed the ball by Farrell much at all. Instead, it's Jack Van Porflia who skipped Farrell and gone to him. And who she's Weet-Bix with water? I do not. No, I couldn't think of much worse. Having Weet-Bix with water. Even like, yeah. No, I don't think I can do it. Especially when fly lands on a jet, then tries go on your food. Disrespectful, man, says Nazi Williams. And soften it up. And you have to crush it, of course, says Gareth. All right, Mitchell now out on the field for England as well. So Jack Van Porflet's been taken off. Both sides slightly folding in. There's still 12 minutes left in this matchup. Dry over water, says Yoni. I've heard of people, well, I've actually tried this in the past as well. It's not that great, but what you can also do is a Weet-Bix and then put margarine on it. It's very dry. Very, very dry. That's why I only did it when I was a kid. But yeah, you can kind of put margarine on it, like a thickish spread, and then eat it that way. It's not great, though. Black pudding in New Zealand, Hamish. I've never actually had black pudding that I know of. No, I don't think so. Is black pudding the one that's made out of blood? Or is that something else? I know that one of them's a blood pudding, isn't it? But I don't know if that's black or whether that's a different one. Now, another big push from England at scrum time. Now, they get themselves the advantage. Now, that's a little bit unlucky because we saw one earlier on in the match, very similar for the Italians, but they did not get a penalty. England this time do. And blood, yes, and pig's blood soup, says Alphasaurus. Or Alpha Riss, I should say. And delicious, says Yoni. Also, watch out for the most American foods. They will kill you, says Scrumlass. Well, you guys have some big portions over there, don't you? But, like, if you ever look at an American Uber Eats, like, some of that stuff just looks really, really good. Didn't even have to say anything, did I, Sebastian? Just acknowledged it, made sure I got it good. And it does make it look a lot better on the scoreboard, doesn't it? South African and Italian, 2 good sausages, borros and chorizo. Now the rolling maul again for the English. I've been told to use it. Looks like they might march just a little bit further. Now they've been told that that's the second time. But they continue to march. And now, looks like they are going to be curling off the back. I think that's Nick Ezekwe who went for a bit of a carry there. In fact, it would have been Ben Earl instead. US mainstream brands are bad and tasteless. Chemical treats, says Gareth. And also black pudding is lush. I haven't heard the word lush since watching Gavin and Stacey. Is that a Welsh thing? It's well lush, isn't it? And I just watched a video, Scrum, even the presenter was shocked, says Eric. Now, Mitchell has it, going short side, still running himself, finds the offload, and Henry Arundel does score on debut in the corner, and that will now be another try for the English. So that probably takes away the Italian chance of a bonus point. Proper lush, says Fleshin as well. And Sui, says Ethan Withy. Another good try for the English, though. They will now move themselves up to 31 points with a tough kick to come near the touchline. Joked about how poisonous most American foods is, brother, says Scrum Lass. Great finish from Arundel, but great work from Mitchell to just keep on drifting wide. Found the offload after managing to get two of the English defenders, the Italian defenders lured in. And update the score, says Johan Meyer. It was a lot quicker that time. It was pretty much just after he put the ball down that it did go to 31. Well, it was just as we were seeing it anyway. And get on England, says War Thunder to cure your boredness. That's a new name we haven't seen before. There's just no control of the score, brother. It's generated by Google. I love you, brother. Says Fleshin. And score says better at the moment. It is sitting 31 points to 14 with the kick to come. Still Owen Farrell. And I don't believe Marcus Smith has made his way out onto the field yet. Has he? 33-0, says Gareth. Not quite. That's a fly. What is its problem? It's in an eating mood and we ain't got no food for it. As this last year's score was 330, this year they are 2 times better, says Gareth. True? Or 33-0. Right. Right, it sounds like now Marcus Smith is coming on the field. So Farrell goes to 12. Lawrence pushes out to 13, and Henry Slade goes off. Henry Slade's had a very quiet game today. Italian defense needs some work, says Alvarez. And the kick from Farrell hits the post and comes back out. Unsuccessful from Farrell, and it is now 31 points to 14 with 8 minutes remaining on the clock now. A good finish from Henry Arundel. He'll be very happy with that one. Him and Mitchell, both not a huge amount of cats between them. In fact, none for Arundel. It looks like England about to make another change relatively soon. But Ludlam takes the ball nicely, 22 metres out from the English line, and the Italians trying to wrestle him into touch. Jill has it available, goes to Itoje. Tackled pretty early by Ferrari. Tries to get out of there. Bit of a counteract there from the Italians as well. Now Mitchell might consider going back into the pocket himself. And how's Farrell's kicking been? At the posts, he hasn't been too bad. In general, he's been, I would say, quite poor. Unfortunately, he's done quite a few grubbers of mine that have led to absolutely nothing. So it's probably more of the case of he's tried to go for volume rather than like accuracy. Because like there was a time where he tried to grubber out to Jamie George on the wing rather than passing it through the hands, which would have been an easy try. They had plenty of numbers. And in them spaces with fast paces, says Nate. And England, the richest rugby playing nation in the world, Hamish? I don't know about richest. I don't know who actually has the most money out of world rugby. Oh, big shot. But brilliantly taken by Italy. That was a knock-on from Italy. Now, France are technically, France spends the most money and hope Italy has a late charge. Says Alvarez, I should say. Now it is going to be a scrum. Oh no, they're saying the attendance. I thought they were going with man of the match. I think Jack Willis has to be up there, though, for the man of the match option. Never get the logic of bringing on a player of that caliber with 8 minutes to go with the score as it is. Least better than Foz bringing on Peter Feta with 30 seconds to go. That is very true. And huge TV deal, says Peter. Weetabix is best eaten with Nutella chocolate spread. There's Roof. And who took over defence when Cockerell went? I'm sure someone will be able to tell us. Borthwick took the main role of Jones. Who went to the defence coach? And Sinfield is defence. And decent little Sunday game. This one, howdy people, says Thick Boy. Welcome in, mate. You are keeping well. 5 minutes left in this contest. It's been a decent outing. First half, definitely England's way, 19-0. But second half, we've seen some decent plays from Italy, which has been good to see. I'll find them a little bit further back into this match. I think we'd be shocked if we knew how much money Ireland spends, says Gareth. And also we have got their Borthwick as forwards coach, says Peter. Now Walker. I'll throw this one in, no pressure on him. It's just a very big opportunity for him. 16. Now Mitchell. Goes to the right-hand side to Farrell. Now Smith was lurking for it on the outside. You can tell that he's not happy with only getting a few minutes. Goes for the grubber in behind. It's charged down. Another mistake. Why are both Smith and Farrell grubbering every chance that they get? That ball might have stayed in. Ezekwe, they might have to check this. In fact, I believe the referee is saying that that's come off Ezekwe, which will make it an Italian line-out just outside of the 22. And Smith's disappointed about it, as he should be. That was a terrible kick. And also, was the French game worth watching? Took me ages to find a download, says Gareth. Yeah, I'd say so. It's an enjoyable game. They did say that the first half was considered as the best first half of a Six Nations fixture in the last 10 years. And some improvement, not watching, says Eric. And there's that. All right, mate. I made a comeback yesterday. I just dusted off the Kiwi lads' cobwebs, says Thick Boy. And there as well. And I'd say yes, says Scrum less. Yeah, but Capuzio has had the most meters made throughout this matchup. Breck second with 83, and then Lawrence there with 80. Followed by Negri and Dombrandt, both having in the 70s, both forwards for their respective sides. But now Biggie puts the ball into the front. Now, short pass. It was almost forward. Yes, it was. And now England once again will have the ball again. Farrell at 12. Over 12. Jesus, says Peter. And lovely to see the hardcore still around 7 scrum there, says that boy. And there as well. Now Dan Cole. Oh, Ludlam took a nose knock. Has he busted his nose open or cheekbone? I'm trying to look at Ludlam's face to see what happened to him. He's chasing after it. I think he might have just gotten the bump on the nose that made him go, ow. Made the eyes water for a second, but now he might be all right. Looks like he's sucking in the big ones, though. Now, Italy with this position again. It's going to be Negri, sorry. Once again, going forward just a little bit more. Now, off the back, Zuliani finds the offload again. Oh, another Italian player down. Might be Sebastian Negri who stayed down this time. A lot of players looking like they're struggling at this point in the match. Currently sitting 77 minutes through. Now, it's going to be off to the short side again. To Capuzio. He's been hard by Dan Cole. White penalised Italy at every scrum. They don't transgress deliberately. Referee should reset and get it tight. Unfair game, says Esbok. And couldn't show my face for that Wales-Scotland game yesterday. Was hiding. Fair play to the Scots. Wish Finn was Welsh. Lovely to see you back as well, thick boy, says Sebastian there. And also, I think I would love, says Gareth. Another run from Italy. Juan Inesio Brex. Now off to the right-hand side, goes through the hands. Rosa. Tackled by Ludlam. And as two Welshmen in the one chat too many, says Gareth. Nah, you can never have too many Welshmen, can you? Surely not. Now, nice pass on the outside. Well handled by Italy. Marcus Smith trying to drive him into touch. But Zuliani stays in the field of play. Now a bounce pass there. A little bit rough from Italy. But now this is starting to open up a little bit more. Good attack and run up the middle once again. The superstar of 15, Capuzio. Stolen by Dan Lawrence. No, sorry, Ollie Lawrence again. Passes it out wide. Now Walker sells the dummy. Look for the offload to Smith. It's going to be a knock on. And it is knocked on. Ollie Lawrence, they're talking about the fact that he could possibly be the man in the match as well. And also we have got there England have lost their shape with all the first half or second half substitutions. Italy have way improved this last quarter. No, Gareth, bring the noise, says Eric. And there as well. But currently 1 minute left on the clock here. England sitting on 31. They've already got themselves the bonus point. So they did manage to get one up against Scotland, being 6 points down, which does mean that it works out to be England sitting on 6 points at the end of this one. He's very angry, says Scrum Lass. And there as well, but Ollie Lawrence, Six Nations player of the match. He's played very well. Had a lot of running meters. Do you count as Welsh with your first name? Ooh, getting technical there. 1 minute 6 on the clock. Marcus Smith, since coming on the field, he's messed up a grubber and he's knocked the ball on, but he also received a really bad pass. So that's probably why he knocked it on as well. Hey, we got man of the match. No tax on Ireland for sports players, I think, too, says Peter Houghton. Borthwick, he'll be happier with this performance. Still, probably not quite the performance England were after in the scheme of things. Their next game is going to be next weekend, or in fact, 2 weekends' time. They will be going head-to-head with Wales. Then they have a tough finish to the Six Nations. They have to go up against France and also up against the Irish. And one more try, Italy. And we're not too sure, or we're not sure what Gareth is. And also, all we know that he's definitely not a South African. Ooh. Oh, okay. Kanoni is coming on to the field because Kanoni's gone off for a head injury assessment. As well. It just shows how horrible this ref has missed a guy clearly off his feet and never released, says Jan Rinel. And one more try. Italy, says Gareth, and the more Welshman, the merrier, says Thick Boy there. So yeah, Kanoni has to go off. That is due to the match doctor actually spotting something there. He's asking the question of why am I going off? Wait, Pelledri is also coming off the field. So was there a head clash between two Italians? So he got knocked out for a second. So he's now off. Pelledri now comes back on. So who's actually off now? So Pelledri's been cleared before he goes back out onto the field for his HIA. Kanoni's also now on the field, but someone's off for an HIA, I think. No idea. 1 minute left, though. So it makes it nice and easy. I tried changing my name a few times. There's some lag between Google and YouTube, so it doesn't update YouTube ASAP for some reason. Oh, gosh. I'm a mudblood, I get it. Says Gareth. Have you played the new Hogwarts Legacy? And Bruni on? They haven't got Bruni off the bench. They've got Bruno, who has made his way out onto the field, the number 23, just a little bit ago. 30 seconds left on the clock now for the Italians. Pass up. Oh, was it knocked on? No, they say it went sideways, and now Pier Bruno has this one. 30 meters out, trying to wrestle for a couple extra meters now. Going short side, Fusco. Now to Minoncella. Another spin from this time, Chiesi. Kicked him behind. That's way too hard. That is way too hard, that kick. And it just drifts into touch. With 3 seconds left on the clock. Maybe a bit of a mistake. Great game. England, much needed after the failure against Scotland. Keeps the competition interesting. 10 out of 10. From Sebastian, and thank God that's over. Says Grumpus, and hello, mate, from the other embarrassed Welsh person on here, says Fleshin. Really is not taken or tacking at that pace. That is half the problem, says Joshua. Right, and now they are making that sub. Or is it a different player? Now, Italy have now taken Pelledri off the field. So he got cleared to continue, to then get told that, no, that's wrong. We need to take you back off. So now they've put on their number 4 to replace him. This is such a confusing little moment for Italy. I would have thought he got knocked out, so he goes off for an HIA. But they decided for a second, he seems like he's all right. He's bounced back. And then they're like, actually, no, maybe he hasn't. He still doesn't know that he's playing rugby. Now England trying to get this one out. Alex Mitchell has been... Right, what's going to happen here? England will kick this ball into touch, but they've now got the penalty. And in fact, the advantage is going to be done, and that will be the end of the game. 31 points to 14. The English are victorious. Italy could beat Wales again, maybe Scotland, says Gareth. I think they'll have a really good chance up against Wales, but just happening in round 4 of the Six Nations, Sorry, thick boy inflation. But it depends. It depends on the game. Maybe Wales by then do start to find their momentum under Warren Gatland. But a big win for the English. 31 points to 14. They walk away with the 5 points on off. And what do you think for the stream, Hamish? Says, Katie, no worries at all. Bye-bye, Italy. I don't come back, please, lol. Says Grumpus, and how much is the ticket at Twickenham Stadium, Hamish? £60. I'm not too sure of the price at Twickenham, but they did sell out 83,000 tickets. So whatever it is, people must have felt it was a bargain. More like £120, says Peter. And there as well. But yeah, nonetheless, I think that is almost going to be the end of this live stream. Ratio was only 1-2, so not too bad. Yeah, a drastic improvement from last year for the Italians when they did go head-to-head with the English. Yes, so the stream, be sure to rest up and looking forward to the GoPro cricketing clips. Oi, oi, says Sebastian. So yeah, hopefully next few days, those will be up. I'm not sure what layout I'm going with yet. I'll probably go with a batting one, and then maybe we'll either go with a, either maybe a what else happened in terms of my bowling and fielding, and then a bit more of the behind the scenes, I guess. I'm not too sure how I'm going to do it yet. All I know is my GoPro's a bit too angled with my batting, so you're kind of looking a little bit further at the ground than I would have initially liked. But I just hope you can see the bowler, or else then that would be a little bit disappointing. I think Wales beat Italy and England this year, to be honest. Time will tell, though. Scotland most exciting to watch for me so far, says Thick Boy Improvement. Did you watch the game, Lol? It was awful. But did you see the score last year, Crumpus? Italy scored 2 more tries than they got last year, which I don't know about you, but scoring 2 tries compared to scoring none in the game last time, 2 tries I would consider as an improvement to 0. It's yours, people. We all played a blinder in England. No continuity. Oh, no. Continued. No, it's not going to let me say it. My mouth, that is. Continuity. Again, slightly better. I tell you what, I butchered that, didn't I? And I think Wales beat Italy and England this year, to be honest. Time will tell, though. Scotland, the most exciting to watch for me so far. And yeah, but he's saying they improved, says Grumless. Different teams, you wally, says Crumpus. Exactly. Italy have gone with a little bit of a different lineup in this matchup and still managed to score themselves 2 tries. I know that you don't like Italy. It's pretty obvious, but credit where credit's due. If you say Italy haven't improved since 12 months ago, maybe you are the wally out of us. They're just showing Ryan Fox, the Kiwi, himself the golf title. We've never covered golf on the channel. I don't know if we ever would. Any points on the board better than 0? I would have thought so, but not according to Crumpus. And Oz and England are horrible. They're lucky they played Italy, says Yanri now. And it was England at Twick as well, so home advantage, says Gareth. There we go. That's another little extra thing. Last year they played in Italy. I'm in my duvet now. Need beauty sleep. Hashtag says Roof. And Italy improved except against South Africa, says Yanri now. Had to throw that one in there just in case. Just for good measure. But nonetheless, I think we are going to be the end of this live stream. If you guys did enjoy, sure, leave a like and subscribe. I believe our next live stream might be on about Thursday or so, when the England versus New Zealand test match does start up. I believe we are going to be doing some of that matchup alongside next weekend's action. And 4 a.m, thanks all night. CS Peter Halston. Yeah, and Italy are far better team to watch right now than they've ever been before. Actually exciting to watch 100%. And Italy need more Kiwis and Saffers. I think they got a Zimbabwean and a guy from Guinea. And I'm impressed with England. Am I more impressed with Italy? Says Flesh and a Big Love All. And oh yeah, thanks, honey. I will do a vanilla cake. And one love, people. Nonetheless, thank you all very much for tuning in. If you did enjoy, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. I will see you all for the next one.